This lesson is factorial notation and permutations. Well, the easiest way to think about a factorial, for example, 4 factorial, is to just count down from the number you have. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So I'm putting multiplication between the numbers. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. So if I have 3 factorial times 2 factorial, I can write it as 3 times 2 times 1 for 3 factorial times 2 times 1 for 2 factorial. So this is going to be 6 times 2, which is going to equal 12. Now you can see 6 factorial here is written in a variety of ways. So you can just write it all out. 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Or you can stop anywhere along the way. For example, here I have 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. Or you could even do it a lot shorter and just go 6 factorial is 6 times 5 factorial. Now you can see in this next example, I have 6 factorial divided by 4 factorial. So if 6 factorial is written as 6 times 5 times 4 factorial, and I divide that by 4 factorial, you can always cancel out a factorial with a factorial. So that leaves me with 6 times 5, which is 30. Now let's look at B. Express 5 factorial as a product in 4 different ways. So the one way you could write it is just 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Or the shortest way would probably be 5 times 4 factorial. And you can fill in the other two with some other ways that you can think of. Now complete the following. 12 factorial is what times 11 factorial? So that would be 12 times 11 factorial. And 8 factorial, well, what two numbers should go in here? 8 times 7 times 6 factorial. Now for D, you're trying to figure out what 6 times 5 times 4 is equal to, and it has to be a factorial over a factorial. So let's just think about this part here. What if I wrote 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1? That would definitely be 6 factorial. Now let's divide this by something that's going to cancel out with some of the numbers on top. So if I go 3 times 2 times 1, then what you can see, that is a 3 factorial. So the 3 here cancels with the 3 below, this 2 with this 2, and this 1 with this 1. So what you're left with when you go 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial, you're left with 6 times 5 times 4. Now, let's go on to the one right below this. In E, without using the calculator, simplify. So I know that I could write 10 factorial as 10 times 9 times 8 times 7. I'm going to stop at 7 and put 7 factorial. So that's 10 factorial. Now, if I divide by 7 factorial, which is in the denominator, you can see that 7 factorial on top cancels with 7 factorial on the bottom. So now we have 10 times 9 times 8, which is 720. So that is an introduction to understanding factorials.